What is up? It's Tuesday, and you know who it is. It's the stranger you like to let in every Tuesday night. I am the uninvited guest for the evening. I am R15, as everybody already knows. Same thing, same day, same time, all that stuff. You know how it goes. Apologies in advance. Fall has came, and with it comes my nose tripping, so there might be a little bit more sniffles, or I don't have a cold or anything. It's just, that fall weather. It got cold for like 2 days, and my nose decided that it wanted to drip and then get stuffed, and then it's doing all kinds of stuff. But the show must go on, so we're here, and got some things to talk about. As you know, the week brings with it some different things, but I can tell you this: there's a story that will not die, and that's the goddamn Little Mermaid. Oh my god! I'm not gonna spend a lot of time on this. I'm gonna talk about it for a minute, but then I gotta stop talking about it at some point because it's getting stupid. Long story short, I guess the actress that plays Little Mermaid, I forget her name. I think it's Haley Bailey or something like that. It's something like that. She came out and said something. She had an interview, and I don't remember who it was with, but she had an interview, and she said, she said, to the effect of, if I would have had a black Little Mermaid when I was growing up and I had seen it, it would have changed my whole outlook on life, or it would have changed my whole life, or something like that, my whole trajectory on life, or something. And I'm sitting here, and I'm in my head, I'm like, so what does that mean, bitch? You were to grew up to be a mermaid? Like, like, I'm pretty sure that you weren't gonna be a mermaid either way. Like, you wouldn't have become an actress. Like, I don't understand what that means, because it's just stupid. But I'm not gonna spend that much time on it. But a couple things, interesting things, came out of that whole story, because in that some other actress came out, and she she said something like, if you don't support my girl Haley, then don't support me, or something like that. I had no idea who this chick was, and apparently whoever this chick is, I don't remember her name, but she's gonna be the new Snow White. And I'm warning y'all now, Snow White is now Latina. So man, I don't know what's going on. They said that the 7 dwarves aren't going to be dwarves exactly, and dude, it's getting to a point where, not only that, this came out too. So not only is Snow White Latina, by the way, I know she's like half Polish or something. I think her dad's Polish, but if you see her, I think her mom's Colombian or Cuban, one of them. But if you seen the chick, you'd be like, that's a Latina. Like, yeah, I mean, I love my Latino women, like, for real. But I mean, I'm team Asian all the way, but I don't discriminate though when it comes to women. So anybody can get it. But I'm getting off topic. Like I was saying, okay, so Snow White's Latina, Ariel's black, and now I'm hearing that they're doing a Wizard of Oz remake. I don't know why. And the first thing that popped in my head was, well, they can't really do that race swapping shit with the Wizard of Oz, because one, all the characters are like different species. Like, one's a scarecrow, one's a tin man, one's a lion. The only real race swap you can do is like the witches, or Dorothy herself or something. But the Wicked Witch is green, so it doesn't even matter. And on top of that, if you go back in the day, now this is, way back in the day, but we already have a black version of the Wizard of Oz called The Wiz, with Michael Jackson. And the thing about that is, it wasn't a remake. The Wiz is its own thing. Think of it as like the Wizard of Oz in a different universe. It's not exactly the Wizard of Oz. The music's not the same. Like, it's totally different. It's more of a disco vibe when it comes to the Wiz. So So I was like, there's no way they can do that because we already have The Wiz, and The Wiz is, it's decent. I mean, The Wizard of Oz is pretty much a flawless movie in terms of what people think. But it's going to be, The Wizard of Oz is now going to be LGB heavy. I don't say them other letters because, here's my thing, okay? I'm getting off topic. I know I'm a ramble. I don't put the TQA plus 3 times 5 equals gay. I don't put all that in there. Okay, the reason why, and I've been through this with some of my gay friends, and they think it makes a lot of sense. If you're everything past LGB, right? Take all those other letters and numbers and symbols beyond those 3 letters, right? If you go up there and you're like, if you think about it, and you ask like a trans person, if you say, okay, you're trans, right? But what are you attracted to? It would fall in the category of LGB. Okay, if you're attracted to women, then okay, you think you say you're a woman, so you would be a lesbian. There's the L. If you're transitioning into a guy, you would say you're a guy, so if you like guys, you'd be gay. You know what I mean? There's no reason to put, because when LGB started, like when this whole movement started, it was all about it was all about like your sexual preference pretty much. It wasn't a sexuality thing. It was about sexual preference. And all those other letters actually can fit into the box of those 3 letters. I don't know why we got to add. It's because everybody got to feel important and included and all this bullshit, but I'm getting off topic. I'm not going to stay too heavy on that, but that's just how I go about it. So I don't add all that stuff. And all my gay friends are like, well, I see what you're saying. I don't really care, but whatever. So there's that. But yeah, the Wizard of Oz is going to be LGB community heavy, apparently. Which is weird because when I think back of actually watching the Wizard of Oz, like, I honestly don't remember them, like, talking about or even like, I don't remember anything sexual about the Wizard of Oz. I don't remember nothing. Like, what is it? Why are you including sexual or sexuality into a movie that has nothing to do with sex? It makes no sense. So there's that. I don't know, man. It's gonna be stupid. I mean, I'm personally not gonna watch it, not because of the whole gay angle, but because I think it's gonna be hot garbage, whether or not. Like, there's some movies just shouldn't be remade, and that's one of them. So there's that. So we got all that going on, and I don't know what Disney's doing, man. I don't know what Disney's doing. Disney's trying to go the route of Twitch, which is another story we could talk about a little bit about. Now, personally, I don't really care about Twitch. After what they did to Dr. Disrespect and banning him and not telling him why, and then we're all left in the dark and stuff like that. I never watched Twitch again. Dr. Disrespect, if you don't know, he's a game streamer. Really, really funny dude, man. I love that guy. I watch him all the time. He's probably the only streamer that I really watch. Yeah, so Twitch has been having problems, and I love it because I can't stand Twitch. But they've been having some real issues. Apparently, there's been a big, huge gambling thing on Twitch where people are like playing poker and playing these casino like online things, and I guess in their terms of service it says you can't gamble in there, but people have been doing it, and Twitch has been letting it go for a while. Now it's starting to catch up with them. So you got that, and then there was another thing where there's like this another scandal came out where it was there's these things called content houses. If you don't know what that is, it's basically when a couple streamers get together in one house and they all stream from that. It's like a big, huge mansion, and all of them live in the house and they all stream from the house and this and that. And apparently, one of the streamers was throwing a party, and all the people were there. All the people that live in the house, and two of the people that live in the house is I don't remember all their names. Okay, this is how much I care about Twitch, but the scandal is watching it burn is fucking hilarious. But apparently, this dude apparently was trying to talk to this chick the whole time throughout the party. And she was like, no, 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 not interested, not interested, not interested. And then she passes out, which is irresponsible in itself. Like, go to your room if you feel sleepy or if you think you're going to do something. You know what I mean? But she passes out, and the dude just grabs a titty. Like, bruh. Like, what the fuck? What are we doing here? But that's not the best part. The best part was one of the other guys that lived in the house was a good friend of his. And he was on stream one time, and he was talking about, it wasn't even that serious, you know? Who gives a fuck about sexual harassment? And then he stopped himself. He's like, sexual harassment, who gives a... And then he stopped, and then he caught himself because he's about to say, who gives a fuck about that? And that's some bullshit. So you got that scandal going on. Then the big thing going on over there, the really big thing, is there was a girl on Twitch. Now, if you were on Twitter at all, you saw this story. There was a girl on Twitch who was basically having sex on stream. Okay? Like some full on Pornhub shit. Like, the reason why we know, at first the reason why we know is because she did it in front of a window and at night. So you could see the reflection perfectly of what was going on. Okay? Later, it came out that people had recorded some of her stream, and they started posting it on Twitter. And when I say people were not exaggerating what was going on, or people were saying stuff like, oh, you can't even really tell what's going on because you can't really see the reflection. Well, if you looked at the stream, you saw everything. Like everything. I'm talking, you saw the eggplant, you saw the titties out, like you saw everything. Like you saw the motion, you saw it all. Okay? So she gets banned, right? She gets banned. And there was this one guy that got banned. I don't remember these people's names, okay? But he's a pretty popular streamer. He got banned, and he interviewed her. He asked her, because he had got permabanned off of Twitch for they called it harassment, but it was just, I mean, it's whatever. But he interviewed her, and he asked her, how long is your ban? She says 7 days. He got banned for having fans go into another streamer's chat and basically like shit talking her, right? He got permabanned for that. She has sex live on stream, fully, right? Gets a 7-day ban, right? Comes back after the 7-day ban. Okay? After it's lifted. She gained like 200K subscribers afterwards, right? So she comes back later. Day one of her comeback, does it a fucking again. She fucks on stream again. Like, more blatant. Like, these people are fucking idiots, man. Like, you got one job. All you do is... The funny part is, she actually plays video games, which is one of the easiest jobs you can do. You get paid to sit there and play games. And, to be honest, she's not that attractive. Actually, to me, she's not attractive at all. Like, I'd pass her by in a heartbeat. Like, I wouldn't even give her a second glance. I probably wouldn't even give her a first glance. But that's me, to each their own. You know what I'm saying? But, so, that happens. I don't know if she got banned or not again, but, man, it's crazy. But I love watching Twitch just burn to the ground because that platform sucks ass. I'm sorry, but I'm not, because it sucks. All the people over there are trash. Like, but how did I get on this topic when I was supposed to be talking about the Little Mermaid? So this is the last thing I'm gonna say about the Little Mermaid. There was a video of a little girl, right? Little black girl. I guess her mom was recording her, and she sits her on this little like island cushion thing, and she has her watch the Little Mermaid movie trailer, and the little girl turns around. She's like, "That's not Ariel." Like, you can check the video out on YouTube. I'm sure you can find it. I would pull it up, but I didn't have it ready because I wasn't. It just came to my mind just now. So, but a little black girl turns around. She says, "That's not Ariel." And her mom or whoever she's talking to is like, "What do you mean?" And they're doing this on TikTok. And she says, "Well, Ariel's white. Like, what do you mean?" And she says, Ariel's hair is like straight. It's not braided. She's like, and I'm just sitting there and I'm like, see, this is the confusion I'm talking about. Because why can't you just leave things the way they are? The original movie is good enough. I think the original movie came out in 1989. I can't remember. I know I was alive when it came out, but I mean, I was basically a baby. So how old would I have been? I'm not disclosing that information. Old enough, okay. Old enough. But so all that came out, right? And for weeks, how many shows? I think ever since I started this platform, I've been talking about why can't we do original shows and movies and original black stories, or just multicultural stories, like with their own origin, or something new. You know what I mean? So we have something that came out, and that was this movie, The Woman King. Now, I think this movie is getting a lot of carryover from like a Black Panther hype. You know what I mean? I forget what's the actress's name. Viola Davis, I think it is. I don't really care. But so this movie came out, or it's out now. But I saw a bunch of stuff about this, right? And I'm sitting here and I'm like, which tribe is this? Which tribe is this? Like, this movie about? Because there's multiple tribes. There's a numerous tribes back in Africa, like throughout the history, right? And I'm sitting here and I'm like, which one had a woman king? So I go and look it up. And this is before all the stuff came out about it. But I went and looked it up, did some research as I always do. Now, this tells you that they don't give two shits about any creativity. And this is how lazy they are. So they give us a black story to basically eat off of the Black Panther hype, because Black Panther 2 is coming out and all that. So they give us this story, right? This story is about a tribe whose claim to fame was slavery. And I'm not talking they were slaves. No. This tribe in particular caught other Africans and sold them to Europeans. That's their whole claim to fame. Don't believe me? Okay, look here. One of the largest exporters of enslaved Africans. There it is. Do more research. I just pulled this article up just because it was the first one that popped up, but I already looked at a bunch of them like months ago. And I heard stories of some of the actresses that said they weren't going to do the movie because of this history. Now, I know there's people out there that'll say things like, well, what about George Washington's history? He was a slave owner. What about Christopher Columbus and who's some other ones? Any white or European person, they'll try to flip that just because of the race thing, right? Here's my thing. And this is my thought process. I always take into consideration, okay, are their achievements greater than their flaws or their failures? That's what I take into consideration about this. So if you talk about like Abraham Lincoln or George Washington, if you talk about George Washington, let's take him as an example first. If you take George Washington, what did he do? Well, he led the Revolutionary War. Okay. Father of America. Okay. Father of the country. Basically built this country. You know what I mean? So there's that. That's his claim to fame. Now, what's his failure? He owned slaves. Okay. if you weigh those two together, right? Slavery is really bad. But when you're the father of a country, the country we live in now, you know, the greatest country that the world has ever seen so far, doesn't that outweigh that a little bit? Doesn't that tip the scale a little bit? You know what I mean? He's known for that, but he has this shady past. I get it. That's his thing. You know what I mean? When you look at the scale that way. Same thing with Abraham Lincoln. Abraham Lincoln, Emancipation Proclamation, basically freed the slaves. You know? Take that. And then what was his flaws? You know? All of them have flaws. Or let's take the Christopher Columbus angle. Christopher Columbus, what was he known for? First of all, he was known for getting lost because this jackass thought he was in India. Okay? But he discovered this great country that we love. Well, it wasn't the country at first, but he discovered what is now America. That's a really big thing in history. That's what he's known for. What are his flaws? They're numerous. I think he's a notorious raper. Like, you know, bad shit. But he's known. What is he known for? Which outweighs the other? And if you want to go the other direction, let's go the other direction. What is someone like, I don't fucking know, Hitler known for? Killing millions of fucking people. What is the good thing that he did? He was a good painter, from what I know. From what history tells us, he was pretty good at painting. Now, if you took those scales, right, and you tipped them, I think people wouldn't give two shits about the painting opposed to what he did up here. You know what I mean? With the Holocaust and everything, you know? And that's what I'm saying. That brings me to my point here. This tribe is known for slavery. That's what they're known for. The scale tips up for slavery. Now, what does the scale tip in the other direction for? Well, it basically empowered women. Okay? When there were women warriors, one of the first women warrior tribes. The warriors were, I think they were known as, a lot of the Europeans would refer to them as the Amazons, you know, the mythical all-woman warriors. So they were good fighters and this and that. But that doesn't tip the scale the other way. You know what I mean? You're still one of the largest exporters of slaves. So, in my book, that's pretty bad. You know, that's your claim to fame right there. You know, that outweighs. What you're known for will always outweigh your flaws. No matter what. So, that's what they're known for. So, there's that. So, I'm personally not going to see this movie. I didn't give a shit about it before I knew anything about it. And after looking into it, I could care less even more now. So, I'm not going to see this piece of shit. And I you know, hats off to those women that walked off when they found out about the history, you know? So, yeah, there's that. Now, I'm not saying that you shouldn't watch the movie. If you want to go support the movie, go support the movie. You know what I mean? But don't be one of them people that demonizes anybody else for anything else. Don't be sitting there and talking about, oh, well, George Washington owned slaves, so I can't support a movie by him. Well, then why'd you go see this when they're the ones that sold them to George Washington? You know what I mean? You can't do that. That shit's out the window. Because if you look at it, they're worse than the person that bought the slave. They're the ones that sold them to him. Without them, there is no slave trade. You know? So, but we'll move on. That's just how I feel about that. That was one of the stories that came out. I think it's just stupid, man. It's not what, when I say stuff like we need our own stories and this and that, I don't want you to take like history and like twist it around and then try to make people believe that this is the actual history of it when it's not. You know what I mean? Why didn't you put this part? Why ain't this in part 2 of the movie? You know, why ain't this in act 2? But whatever, man. I'm not going to go see it. I'm not going to support this trash. So there's that. What else is on here? What else can we talk about? There's been a lot of, other than that, man, there's been a lot of, speaking of celebrities, by the way, and bullshit. Y'all catch this story about, I don't know if y'all like, know who Maroon 5 is. Y'all might. really everybody should know who Maroon 5 is. That band was huge. Like I remember listening to their first like 3 albums and loving it. Like what was it? Songs About Jane? Like I think I still have that album somewhere. It's great. But the lead singer for that, Adam Levine, was recently caught in a little scandal. Yeah, I don't know if you saw it or not, but he got caught in being thirsty in the DMs with some IG model. And ordinarily, I don't really talk about gossip shit like this, but the thing I found particular interesting about this was that couple things. First off, the girl, right? Her name is, I think, Summer or something like that. First off, the girl, the whole thing, the way that this got started is she came up on IG Live or something, and she outed it. She outed this, and she brought all the messages in the inboxes, the DMs, and all that. And she started talking, and the more and more she talked, the more and more I felt like she's a piece of shit. Like to be honest, she's talking to a celebrity, right? To a known married celebrity. Okay, she knows he's married. He's Adam Levine. How don't you know he's married? Okay. She's talking to him, and then at the same time, she starts talking about, oh, well, he took advantage of me. I'm like, took advantage of you? How? So she starts going into stories, and as the story goes on, she's talking about, like, talking in the DMs only? Like, he took advantage of you by messaging you? What the hell does that mean? And then she starts talking about her morals and stuff like that. And I'm like, morals? Yeah, you can't talk to a known married man and then claim you have morals. Bitch, get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. What the fuck are you, man? See what I'm saying? I can't stand pieces of shit like this. But then she gets on there and she starts talking all this dumb shit. So then the blowback gets back to finally Adam Levine here. And it turns out that he's just being thirsty. All he did, like, they never even had sex. Like, he never even fucked this chick. Why is everybody so... I understand. Look, personally, I think it's wrong. You're married. You shouldn't be, like, randomly text messaging just IG models just because you can. But at the same time, it's like, he's a celebrity. He can do what the fuck he wants. Like, he's one of the 1%. You know what I mean? Do I think it's wrong? Yes. But however, it could have been way worse. It's not like he tried to do anything with her. All he did was basically do some corny ass, like, complimenting her and shit, right? But here's where this shit gets weird. So they stopped talking or whatever for months. And he randomly messages her and says, now his wife's pregnant. He said, I want to name my next baby after you, Summer. First off, if it's a boy and you name it Summer, you just gave that kid lifetime ass whoopings. Like you just signed off the bullying receipt for that kid. But the thing is, it's like, bro, what are you doing? You're Adam Levine, Maroon 5 lead singer. You've been on TV. Like, why are you simping for this IG model? Okay, she's cute. I don't really like this. I'm not a fan of this whole, like, plastic look of the face. I hate that shit. I hate this whole plasticky look that girls have now with the end of broomstick eyelashes and all this shit. And I just can't stand it, man. I hate it. I hate this look. But, I mean, you know, I can see how it could be appealing. But yeah, literally all he did was message. It's not like he was flying her out or he was flying to her and they just, you know, smashing every 5 minutes or something. That's not what happened. And now you got all these other like thoughts and that want their 5 minutes of fame talking about, oh yeah, girl, he messaged me too. He messaged me. Bro, you would think this dude was Ron Jeremy, just banging everybody. Like, you would have, he's done no cheating apparently. Like, from what's come out, He hasn't stuck anything in anywhere but his wife who's pregnant. And for some perspective, okay? He's married to a Victoria's Secret model. This is his wife. This is his wife, okay? Now, granted, she's okay. Yeah, I mean, to me, she's all right. She's okay. I'm not really feeling it, but when you go to the IG model that he was messaging, I mean, I'm not a fan of the plastic face, you know, but she looking kind of good right there. I ain't gonna lie to you. I mean, when you go back and forth, look, man. I mean, based on looks alone, I don't know them personally. I mean, her personality, like his wife's personality, could be 10 times better than Mrs. Morals over here, right? Because this Mrs. Morals she just needs to not talk. As far as looks, though, you take all that shit out. I gotta go with the IG model. I ain't gonna lie to you. Like, I mean, I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm going with the IG model. But to wrap this up, like, I don't think, I mean, to be honest, I don't think he did anything like end of the world, like anything that he should break up his marriage or his family over, because, you know, everybody makes mistakes, and this was, the mistake could have been a lot bigger than what everybody's like overreacting to what it actually is. You know, he slid in some DMs. I don't know why he's sliding in DMs anyways. He's like, come on, bro, step your game up. How you a celebrity? How you this famous? How you this rich and you ain't got no game? That don't make no damn sense. But yeah, there's that. That was interesting. That's still going on, by the way. There's been like 3 or 4 other chicks that said, yeah, he messaged me too. But at the same time, it's like none of these girls are saying, oh yeah, we fucked. Like, none of them. Fucking stupid, man. Just dumb. That's gonna be the whole. That's the new cheating. Just DMing. Like, what? It's like the metaverse shit. But yeah, man, that's some stuff that's going on right now. It's pretty crazy, pretty stupid. I just think it's pointless. Like, I don't think they understand the world that celebrities have too. Like, a lot of these like rich people like this, like people with that amount of money, people don't understand that they have like agreements with each other where it's like, okay, you can fuck whoever you want, but just make sure that, you know, it don't look bad on us, on the family, you know, make sure that shit don't come back on us, like publicly. A lot of celebrities, probably your favorite celebrity that you know, it probably fucks a lot of people, but, you know, like I said, they got this agreement. And a lot of them, listen, I'm going to burst a bubble here. A lot of them use escort services, like expert. I'm talking some top tier escort services. Because these escort services have an agreement where it's like, you know, you're going to see this such and such celebrity. So after you do what you do, you can't talk about it. Or it's your ass. You know, you can pretty much be sued. And you ain't got to believe me. You know, I'm just saying, the super rich, they can do whatever they want. The super rich and the super popular can do whatever they want. And a lot of their spouses have these things in place where it's like, okay, well, do what you want, but just don't, make sure that shit don't come back on the family. You know what I mean? So yeah, man, there's that. Let's see here. So that's I think that's all I really had prepared for today. For the most part, like, that's pretty much the stories. I think that this new format, the funny part is I'm gonna have to start putting together some more stories, because this new format that I got, where I actually have a structure to the show, where it's things I'm going to talk about. And I even got off the cuff a little bit in this episode, but this new structure is like actually shortening this show. You know, I usually aim for about 45 minutes to an hour. And I think I can't even see the timestamp over here, but I think I'm just about to hit like 40 minutes. So I'm going to have to figure out something. Maybe I should start over preparing stories, you know, and just letting them bleed over maybe, or just cutting some out because there's so much stuff. But yeah, I'm going to have to figure something out. The structure is kind of doing the opposite of what I wanted. It's making it shorter than what I wanted. So we'll see, man. I'll figure it out. Maybe I'll go into more depth and actually do some. I'll figure it out. I ain't worried about it. So let's go to that part of the show where every week, like I said, I'm going to start this thing up. We're going to go to my watch list. And I'm going to put up, like, TV shows, movies that I actually enjoy and watch, that I actually love, really. And as this thing goes on, maybe eventually I'll get to a point where I can actually take some people to give me their movies that they want me to watch and check out, and I can actually do that. Some TV shows, and I'll do a review on that or something. But let's get to this week's watch list pick. One of the shows that I actually watched and I actually prefer and actually am going to recommend. So let's get on with it. This the show right here. I almost said movie. Here's the show in my watch list. This is one of my more recent shows. It's called The Terminal List. It is on Amazon. Listen to me. Okay, listen very closely. This show is awesome. I mean awesome. This show is based off of the novel series by former Navy SEAL Jack Carr. He's been on Rogan a ton of times. His naval story or his military stories are just great. And his actual novel series, I haven't read a lot of it. I've read like snippets of it here and there. It's great. But this is the show, The Terminal List. Highly recommend. The good thing about this show that's different is that there's no love interest angle in this show. And that is, name me 3 shows that don't have a love interest in them. Name me 3. Matter of fact, name me 20 that don't have a love interest story involved in it. You can't. Every story's got to have some kind of love interest angle in it. This show does not. This show is just, it just hooks you right away, and then it just keeps you in with the action and all this stuff. I'm not going to spoil it. Okay. The Terminal List is probably one of the best shows I've ever watched. Ever watched. Terminal List. Definitely check it out. If you got Amazon, or if you can get it somewhere else, but Amazon is where I watch it. It's a great show. I mean, if you got Amazon Prime, like probably 99% of the people out here, it's free to watch. So highly recommend this show. As far as a rating goes, I don't know. I might have to figure out a format to do this rating system more effectively. The Terminal List is going to get a 9.5 from me. Like, it's almost perfect. The reason why it doesn't get a 10 is because I'm waiting for the second season to see because the second season will determine how good the first season is for me. But I would give it about a 9.5 out of 10 because this show is epic. And if the second season is better or worse, this show's going to get a 10. But it's 9.5 right now. Highly recommend this show. It's only 8 episodes, the normal format, and it's dope. I've watched it. I've watched the first season twice already. Twice. Dope show. That's the TV watch list pick of the week. The Terminal List. Now, let's go on to something else in the watch list. Let's go to movies, because I'll start doing that too. Of course, I can't go too far off the beaten path. I've already talked about this movie a million times in the podcast format before, in the first 2 episodes, I think. The Batman. It is by far my favorite Batman movie of all time, taking that spot from The Dark Knight. And it is just, it's great. I didn't think I was going to like, I've said it before, I didn't think I was going to like Sparkly Vampire Man Robert Pattinson as Batman. But the thing about this movie, man, it takes the the essence of Batman. It takes that detective angle and it just holds it. And it's the first movie to do that. And that's what I love about this movie. You got Colin Farrell in it. You got what's her name? Zoe Kravitz over there as Selena Kyle, aka Catwoman. Colin Farrell, by the way, plays the Penguin. I think he's getting his own TV show, by the way, a spin-off TV show of this. If you want to watch this movie, it's on HBO HBO Max. It used to be HBO Now, but now it's HBO Max. HBO Max, like I've said, is probably my favorite streaming service. I love it. But yeah, the Batman is on there. This is by far my favorite Batman movie of all time. Like I've said before, that Batmobile, the introduction of the Batmobile scene is absolutely legendary. Absolutely legendary. And I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. I've seen this movie, and now it's a 3-hour movie, okay? 3 hours. But as a Batman fan, I loved every minute of it. And I've watched this movie probably about, it's probably been about 8 times I've watched this movie. It's that good, man. It's that good. The thing I really liked about this movie is they weren't afraid, and I'm not going to spoil it if you haven't seen it, but they weren't afraid to go big in this movie, like big. So I love this movie. This movie is a 10 out of 10 for me. I loved it. I love the acting in it. The whole goth Batman, the goth Batman kind of threw me off. But he's been Batman for 2 years, and I understand why he's like an incel right now. So he doesn't really get I think as we progress through this, I think it's going to be a trilogy, but as we progress through this trilogy, you'll start to see more of that Bruce Wayne charm come out, like as you see him in the later years as Batman, when he actually mixes the Bruce Wayne in to get information. But 10 out of 10 for me, man. I love this movie. I love it. Love it to death. So definitely recommend that if you can check it out on HBO. So there's that, man. And that is I keep on messing up what I'm trying to say here. That is the watch list for this week in particular. You got the Terminal List and you got the Batman. Check them out. Let me know what you think. They're both top tier. Like I said, Terminal List gets a 9.5 as far as shows, and the Batman gets a 10 out of 10. Perfect score for me. I love every minute of it. So there's that. And as we always do, that we started this, we went from the watch list. Now we're going to go to the playlist of songs. And this week's playlist of songs is going to be one of my favorite artists right now. Actually, I'm not even gonna lie to you. This is my celebrity crush. Like, I think she's the best looking woman in the world. That's just me. But it's Hwasa, Maria. Name of the song is Maria. That's Hwasa. And yeah, man. So that's gonna be a show to me. That's gonna be a show for me. I'm sorry, Hwasa got me all crazy right now. This girl, man, she's just gorgeous. Anyways, that's a show for me. Enjoy some of this Hwasa Maria. I have been your uninvited guest for the evening. I am R15. I'll see y'all again next week. Same time, same place. I'm out. Catch y'all later.